I think Dojo said it best that I'm like social adjacent because like it's almost like I can flip that switch between being like antisocial and
See,
social.
I actually
Like
remember a time where I was like, bro, I need some bathroom. So thank God I have a laptop. I had to take my work laptop. I know it's nasty. I cleaned the laptop off.
yeah.
But I'm not gonna do that shit without an invitation. I ain't gonna be that nigga.
Okay, fair. Fair. Fair.
Let somebody else be that guy, not me. uh, like, welcome in everybody to the Cool Down Den. I'm your host, Stu. You guys already know what to do. This week we're talking about remote life, and my lovely guests I have this week are remote workers. I'm a remote worker myself. So I thought this is a really good time to talk about what it's like to actually be a remote worker. Work from home is not always what it seems to be, you know. So Cam, I'm gonna start open with you, just diving straight into it. You know, when when you start to work from home or when you do any type of remote work, do you feel like it's easier to do that, or what's your first impressions of remote work when it started? Do you think it's more freedom or chaos?
Honestly, I've heard different stories. For me, though, my personal experience has been more freedom because I'm one of those type of people that likes to clean up around the house and things of that sort. And if like it's slow at work, I don't want to just like sit and look at my screen the entire day. You know, when you're in the office, it's more so like you can't be on your phone or you are like
Yeah.
having to associate with people you might not want to or like things like that. And so for me, it's like when it's slow, I'll get up, I'll walk around for a bit, I'll use the bathroom, clean some dishes, like sweep the floor if I like. And I think one of the bigger things is like laundry for a lot of people is like you can start and stop those tasks pretty quickly within like, decent amount of time, but it not be too difficult of a task. It's like one of those things that you could get done while things are slow. So for me, it's been fine. I find that when I started remote work, because I think I started working remotely like in 2018, 2019.
Well, before the boom. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I've been working remote for a while. Um, I've had 3 different jobs since though. So like but they were all remote. So when I started working from home, I was like sitting in my bed. And then it was like, okay, I can't sit in my bed because that's how I ended up getting fired from that job. I fell
Yeah.
asleep. I fell asleep. I was like, I shouldn't be in the bed. So the next job I got, still remote. And I was intentional about this, you guys, because I didn't have a car at the time. I was fresh out of high school. I didn't have a car at the time. And I was like, there's no shot I'm going to be spending X amount of dollars in order to get to and from, or wasting X amount of time to get to and from the workplace. And I say wasting time because if you don't have a car, some people or some cities will have a bus system. Hi, Jayla. Some people will have a bus system or some cities will have a bus system and the system is long. Like you have to wait for other people to get to their destination. And
Mhm,
like, it's just a very long time.
mhm.
So I was like, all right, I have to work from home. So the second job I got, I moved from the bed to like a nightstand. I didn't have a desk. I
Yeah.
was literally working on a nightstand. And then after that, I was like, all right, when I move out, because I was still living with family, I was like, when I move out, I would love to have my own office. That way, like, I can leave work in that room or
Yeah,
at
it's
that
separate.
desk.
Got you.
It's
Got you.
completely separate. So, like, now I don't sleep, work, and I don't I don't sleep, work, and shit in the same areas. It's separate.
Yeah, that's my next goal. Because right now, I definitely, as you see, I got my keyboard and mouse, and I just lay down as soon as I'm done. Like my bed's literally right here. But
Yeah.
I do have a really bad habit of that. Like if I don't want to spend 8 9 hours just sitting here, I'll just take my little laptop, like I showed you, and my little mouse and my headset, and I lay it right here, and I answer calls for the last hour or two a day. I'll be laying there, but yeah, it's a bad habit. But that's one of the upsides of remote work that you can have that freedom.
Mhm.
I don't know what type of job you do that you can go and wash clothes. Because me, I can get a call at any second, anytime. And so
Yeah.
I always have to be somewhat aware and have the headset on because
Yeah.
I've had that happen to where I got a call and I'm like trying to get the headset on real quick. And yeah,
Mhm.
so for
Running.
you, exactly. So for you,
Yeah.
lady, what do you think? Is it more freedom or chaos with your job? And how long have you been working remote?
I've been working remote for 4 years now. It's my first and only remote job as I've been praying for one for like a decade. So,
Nice.
my first impression, I always just thought it was what I wanted because, um the departments that I work with, they would, when you email, then you get that, "I'm out of the office today, but I'll still respond." It's like, "What, girl?" Like,
Mhm.
you I did like the idea because at that point, the company had work from home, but it was, hybrid, so, maybe 3 days in the office and 2 days at home, but you can pick your days. Of course, people were picking Fridays and things like that. So I always had a positive understanding or outlook about it, but I have also had stories where, yeah, if you don't, uh, do what you're supposed to do, um, that privilege can be taken away from you. So I've always had a positive outlook on it. But yeah, 4 years now and, dread the idea of going into someone's building. Like, I dread getting gas. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, for the purpose of commuting, getting
Yeah,
gas. Yeah. Yeah,
commuting.
that's real.
Here's the thing about commuting, because I'm gonna be honest. I only had a car for a little bit of time, right? I had a car, my own personal car, I should say. I've been driving for a very long time, but I had my own personal car. eh, I think I had for like 6 7 months. It was short, very very short before I had my car accident. And got totaled and stuff. But commuting is just work from home definitely does stop the commute. So, lady, for you, how has working from home changed your daily routine or mindset? You said you've had this for a couple years now,
Yeah.
for 4 years. So, how has that changed your mindset about work or just period over time?
Well, I had to get with the program because I definitely was laying down. Like,
That's
I
such a side effect.
definitely was
It's
doing things.
hard.
It's
That's
like right
hard.
here, bro. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? But you can get too comfortable, and then that's the problem. So my whole day changed because, first of all, because I had a car without the option of having work from home, I always said if I had a car, there's no excuse for me not to have a job. I'm gonna go where the money is.
Mhm.
Right. So I was commuting 50 miles a day. My job, I live in a city, but I always wanted to work in the suburbs. So,
So, was that 50 miles there and 50 miles back, or 25
no,
25?
total 25, 25.
Oh, sh
Right,
I
but
was
Okay.
it's
thinking 100
still a
miles a day.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
still.
still a lot. Um, so with that being said, I have to get gas every 3 days, and I have to get premium, and I'm at 60, $70 every trip. So 140 a week times 4 weeks, like, no, thank you. So, with my day changing, I don't have to get up as early, of course, because I did make myself an office when I found that I was getting too comfortable. Like Cam was saying, like, I just need another space
Yeah.
to get in another mindset for work.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so my day changed where I don't have to get up as early. Also, I have a child that added on even earlier for me to have to get up because I have to take care of him. So my mornings I can sleep in more. What else has changed is that when I worked in the building, I worked on the 3rd floor. I purposely would take the stairs because I was not making additional time to exercise. Once I got home and that wasn't part of my routine, I felt it, like, physically and mentally, because when you're exercising or I'm, like, out of breath by the 3rd floor, my brain is also working, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm giving my body something, and I did not make time for that once I worked home. That changed. And then, yeah, I don't necessarily have to fake talk to people or people coming in your space, which I'm a people
Mhm.
person when I wanna be, but I prefer, like, reaching out or talking when I'm ready to. So, like, work from home is good for that.
Yeah,
And,
for
Mhm.
sure.
the last part still is of the day is, like, Oh, I have to cook for myself now. I was in a building where they had restaurants galore downstairs. So making time to cook and prep is something I had to add. And while you're saving money and gas, I could then run it up with getting ordering out at home. You know what I'm saying? So I had to
Right.
adjust that. And then yeah, coming home after work, it's a different type of commute, so that was also time lost. So I love that I have some of my time back, but it definitely has its ups and downs.
It definitely does. And so, what about for you, Kim? I know you already talked about it. You elaborated on it a little bit, but for you, what were some things you had to change mindset wise, or just do differently since working remote? I mean, you said you've been in this since day one, so like,
Not day one.
she came out the womb remote.
Um, yeah, like I said, it was very intentional, but routine-wise okay. So, the short of it, right, is, like, to kind of, like, tell you how it evolved for me. Because again, like a lady said, I had to learn. It started from me rolling over and like, "Okay, let me click start and let me just start
Man,
work,"
what? Just
to, "Okay, let me be intentional, let me get up, let me, do the morning routine, right, at the very least, even if I'm not on the phone, because like, I work in customer service, but I'm not on the phone, so, like, be intentional about, like, waking up and, like, washing my face, taking care of my like, as if I'm going somewhere.
yeah,
I'm not putting on all the clothes, but, like, I'm still in sweats. Like, at least I'm, like, fresh face, teeth is brushed,
that's a habit I'm trying to do. Cause I sure to God I go to work
like
naked sometimes. I get up, I put on some drawers, and that's it. No shirt. I wear a shirt on Thursdays when we have our team meeting. That's it. So, like that's
But listen, you have that privilege. You can
You
do
you
that.
feel
do.
me?
You do. But, like, yeah, before it was, like, rolling over and, like, "I'm gonna just start my day," or at least start working, but, like, being intentional about starting my day has something that I've, like, um done or have been doing for a while now. And then recently, like lady was saying, the health part is so big because I'm the heaviest I've ever been currently. And I'm like, okay, I need to lose weight. And I'm like, okay, how do I like healthily, not just lose weight
Yeah.
just to lose weight, but like lose the fat and things of that sort that I don't need, that's extra, that's weighing me down, that's causing me to, try to catch my breath when I'm at the top of the stairs. So my work schedule is still on East Coast. If you guys know, I'm in Arizona. And so it changes between Pacific and I think whatever the Central Standard Time throughout the year, which means that my workday here starts at 6 a.m. But because I'm being intentional recently, I was like, all right, I have to work out at the gym. I'm in a one-car household with two people, and the other person works outside of the house 3 days out of the week. So I was like, all right, I have to go to the gym at 4 a.m.
I love
So
it.
that's what I've been doing recently. It's not every day.
Man,
It's
I had
not
to cut
every
my
day.
earphone. Look, I'm not doing that shit. 4 a.m. That's
It's
ungodly.
She
not
said intentional.
intentional about it because like I'm so serious to at least like losing I don't know what the weight would be because but I'm thinking that it would be at least like 20 or something pounds by the end of the year. That's my goal. But 4 a.m. I'm getting up. By the time it's like 4:15, 4:30, I'll get to the gym because it's not too far away, and then do my workout for about an hour, come home, shower, have breakfast, start my day. That's been my routine recently. It's
And
not
that's
every
good.
day of the week. It's like right now it's like 3 days out of the week, but I'm doing that to be better.
And that's actually really, really good because personally, just me personally, that's the one part I haven't fully implemented yet. Okay. I've gotten down the work schedule, work from 12 to 9, which I don't know if I like that schedule. I like it because I get to my mornings. I can, hang out with Vibe Stream, do whatever I need to do, I do. But here's the thing, I end up just sleeping in. I just end up sleeping in. Like I ended up sleeping till 11:15 because I know I got to clock in at 12, and so that's a bad habit. So I need to, since I got all this time before 12 o'clock, I might as well, I wake up no damn 4 a.m. but wake up at
I mean, you don't
7.
have to.
Right, I have to wake up
Yeah.
at 7, right, and then go work out 8, come back 9, and then make my breakfast, and then chill in the stream for a little bit. I have time to, you know,
Mhm,
chill until 12, right? I just haven't
mhm.
done that because I don't know, something about waking up at 8, and then for me, that's way I think of it, that's like a 14-hour day before I'm allowed to go to sleep, and so I don't know. So I need to get that together to get
I think
out of that
changing
habit.
your perspective about it will help
Exactly.
too,
Yeah.
because saying you're not allowed, you can do whatever the heck you want to, but more of like,
And not get
you
fired?
get to do this for your future self. Change your
True.
perspective, you know?
I like that. I like that. Yes, and another thing that had me struggle, 'cause I have done that a couple of days, and I did like that when I did that. I did like when I worked out, and then it gave me an energy boost to start the shift. Because usually my beginning of my shift is always terrible 'cause I'm tired. But so the beginning of shift is good, but then I saw towards the end of my shift, I was just barely awake, barely awake.
Mhm.
So I gotta find a way to sustain some energy because I gotta lose weight. I'm the heaviest I've ever been. So this is not good for me. I need to get back to husky stew, not fat stew. You know what I'm saying? So
You got
that's
it.
what I'm working on. I'm gonna try to, you know,
Nice.
implement that. That's my goal to implement that. So
Nice.
remote work is very flexible, right? It's something that we all have. The flexibility is why I think it's so appealing to people to have remote work, right? But what does flexibility really mean to you now, lady? That flexibility, like you said, what does that really mean for you now?
Mm. Well, I enjoy being able to make or bake something in between my work. I'm also not on the phone. And yeah, like, oh, I forgot to wash everyone's clothes. Let me go run and do that. I do like for lunch, I can drive somewhere in my neighborhood and support my community. Also, my last thing that I would consider flexible is I've had a car for I don't know how long and paid however much, but I have not been using my car. I think that's flexibility as it was a must before, and now it's an option. So those are my flexibility points. I can do things that I wasn't able to do at work that pertain to my personal life,
And
and
mhm.
it's a plus. I have no qualms about that.
and that saves you a lot of money, not just on gas, but like having
Wear
to
and
fix
tear,
tires and
Yes,
upkeep.
so that's awesome.
that part. So yeah.
That's definitely awesome because yeah, because having a car is a lot more than just gas. I think smaller people who don't know, yeah, it's just gas. No, what? No, not at all.
It's a necessity, and at some
I
point,
agree.
I stopped looking at how much it was because I need it. I'm not going to make
Mhm,
myself upset by looking every 3 days. I need it, give it here. But,
mhm,
working from home did allow me to really look at how much money I was spending outside of the home.
Right.
And while I was aware, but I was really aware to just be able to pay it, I'm more so aware now, like, wow, I could have saved a lot here or there, but I was just getting through the day if I wanna stop and get
mhm,
something here or there or the maintenance. So, yeah.
mhm.
And that's a whole thing. That is a whole thing. And I was literally just talking to my mom about that same thing, but in reverse, right? About mom, we got to stop buying stuff just because it's cheap, or not
Yeah.
buying stuff just because it's expensive. If we have something we need to do, just get it done, whatever it costs. It costs money, whatever, swipe, because it has to get done, and it has to. We need to have. We should not belittle our standards for whatever just because of our price point. I think that's that broke mindset that, so if we need more money, let's just make more money. Let's not lower our standards to fit our budget. Let's have our budget fit our standards. But that's just how, little rant right there. But going on to you, Kim, that flexibility, how's it help you?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I like to do housework or get like housework done when I can. And sometimes it's just convenient when it's 2 p.m. and I have nothing to do. So I will go and get those things taken care of, come back and be like, okay, does anybody need me? And then usually everything's fine. Just so you guys have an idea of what I do. So again, I work in customer service. I've been working in customer service for a long, long time. Um, and I do QA. I
Okay.
don't I don't need to be on the phone.
Okay, so she judging people.
Not judging people.
No, because I be look, bro. You mind the times I have people from QA listen to my calls, Stuart, you could do better here, and I'll be like, why don't you get on the phone then? How don't you get on the phone talk about it?
They did their time. Hopefully
No,
that's
that's
how
funny.
the job works, but they did their time and they're supposed to be in QA. But I also work with spreadsheets and like the time of the month that things are like busy for me is at the beginning of the month and near the end of the month. Outside of that, like is it's the first week and then the last week, but like there's 2 weeks in between that I'm like, all right, is everybody doing their job right? And then, so because of that, I don't have to be at my desk the entire day, which is a blessing. Not everybody can say that because even people who aren't on the phone, they are like they're still needed, if that makes
Right,
sense.
right,
So
right.
it's a little different, but it's a blessing and yeah, it's a blessing I got this job and that I'm able to pay bills and things of that sort.
Mhm.
I was also able so before this though, before I moved to Arizona and I, got a place and things of that sort, my bills were less. I was living with my grandmother. God bless her. That lady is amazing, and she, um, had a vehicle. I had the vehicle, or I would ask to use her vehicle, usually for nothing social, if I'm being honest, because that was her car, and you know how old
Look at
Black
you being all
moms
sweet.
or
I'd have been like,
grandmas
Mama,
can
I got
be.
a date.
Yes, no, no. So I was, she was just one of those people where it's like, "Where are you going?" Oh, blah blah blah, and things of that sort. And I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna get to me. You don't know how to use the Uber app, but here's the information. um, but then it got to a point where it was, Cam, can you fill up the vehicle? I'm like, yeah, sure. I use it to go get groceries. I can at least fill up the vehicle. But then it became the standard. And then after that, I saw that they were using the gas more than I was. And I was like, "I'm just gonna get my own car at this point." And so I ended up doing that, and, it was when the market was at the lowest, which was during COVID for buying vehicles, and so I got a car, and like lady said, it's just sitting there, it doesn't I don't have to use it often because I'm working from home and things of that sort. Um, I think that's also a bonus is just the ability to sort of a blessing. I don't know how you would describe it, really, just having a vehicle and not needing it
Yeah,
necessarily, if that makes sense.
blessing.
In order to in order to make money. You don't need it. It's more used as a tool to get things done more efficiently. Not a necessary item. It is a liability. So the tires and things you still have to take care of, but less often because you're not driving it so much.
No, the next question, because we talk about flexibility, and I love what you said, Kim, about how things are different, right? And so I think now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the remote life and how things are different, right? When you talk about the differences of remote life, there's always a give and take, right? So we have a lot of flexibility.
Mhm.
We have a lot of flexibility in how we do things. But now, at least for me, it's constant availability. I have to always be available. They expect you to
Mhm.
always be available because you ain't doing shit else. You might as well be always available. So at least for me, I'm gonna speak on mine first. That's what I don't like. Like how you said earlier, how you can just walk away and do so. I can't do that. Like I have to have this headset on until I go on break. Even if it's like this, I can hear a call. If I'm in Discord
Yeah.
talking with somebody, whatever, I have to be available because at any moment you hear doo doo doo, and it's time for you to talk. You got to be ready to go. So you have to have that constant availability. That's how it is for me. Cam, how is it for you? Are you well? I guess you kind of said that, but like, do you feel the stress of that you've traded your flexibility for constant availability?
Sorry, that I traded my
Right, your
flexibility.
flexibility, like, you got flexibility, but now you're constantly available, or you always have to be available for your job.
Well, I think my thought process when you said that was, you're technically on the job. you have to be available while you're getting paid on the job,
Right.
if that makes sense. So, like, technically, I guess I don't view it that way is basically what I'm trying to say, is that they're paying me on like, I'm on the clock right now. They're paying me to be here for this job. So, not necessarily. I think that it would be or less flexible if I was in the office because there's things like the dishes and sweeping and, like, all the other
Yeah.
housework things that I can't take care of or, like, going to get packages that I ordered or, like, not having to worry about somebody stealing stuff off my porch, like,
Which
those
happens.
are the things those are the things that, like, I still am able to do, and so even when I was on the phones, I get where you're coming from and, like, having to have the headset. If I'm being honest, I was like, "Smarter, not harder." Like, I need to be available to take these calls right now, but, like, let me see if I can get, like, my headphones connected so that I can walk away real quick and still answer the phone because I don't necessarily need to be at my desk reading anything for at least the first 5 minutes. So,
That is true. Yeah.
stuff like that is what I did. So, like, I think, like, it balanced itself out pretty well.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I don't have a remote headset. As you see, I got this big ass wire right here. And so I'm limited. It's a long wire, but I'm limited. I actually remember a time where I was like, bro, I gotta use the bathroom. So thank God I have a laptop. I had to take my work laptop. I know it's nasty. I cleaned the laptop off. But I had to like just like nothing got on it, but just the fact that it went in the bathroom was disgusting to me. So I took it in the
Mhm.
bathroom and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna get a call. I'm not gonna call. But I had the headset on. Next thing you know, do do do. I'm like, oh, I gotta take a
I
call while
mean,
I'm on the toilet.
no, that's real, but at the same time, when it comes to bodily functions, those things should be allowed. I don't care what job.
They should.
I don't
They
care what
should.
job it is. Those things should be allowed. Cause like, you should have been able to just go to the bathroom and, like, and not have to worry about taking a call forever however long
Yeah.
you needed to be there.
But then again, from a job's perspective, I can understand it because there will be people who be like, "Well, I got to use the bathroom 30 times a day." So I get why they don't allow
No,
certain stuff
they're
like that.
abusing
But
it at
like,
that point. You
yeah,
should not you
exactly.
should
So
not be no, 30 times? No.
exactly. So that is that. So I'm gonna ask the question again because I kind of butchered it the first time. But yeah, once again, lady, for you, do you think that you traded in one type of stress, which is commuting, like you said, you 50 miles a day commuting, for another type of stress, which is the constant availability in your job?
I think that it really depends on what type of job you have, as I have come from the customer service world where you're on the phone and average handle time, quality assurance, availability, those things are constantly monitored. And so for someone who has that job like you, that would be a stress of mine. But my job is not that. And so trade it for another stress, like my stress now would be I have to keep food in the house. Like
Oh, you're gonna do
my
that anyway, so ain't that bad.
well, I'm telling you, I'm coming from a place of I'm fine with spending my money out for lunch when I was going to work. So now that I'm home, it's on me to pick up my cooking skills again. My
Yeah.
husband then started to work from home. And
Snacking.
hello?
Yeah.
Oh my god, during COVID, the child was home. It was 3 of us here, and I'm
There was
used
no
to just
food in that
spending money
house.
on me. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was just I say a I'm saying it as a stress, but it was
Challenge.
a necessity. Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
just had to get with it. So spending more on groceries, I became one of those people like, "Why is this $10? Why is this bread? Da 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 da." And then
Right.
you start to learn from there, where do I wanna shop from to so those little stresses, but, um, nothing that I would really put as a con of
No,
Mhm.
working
facts,
from
facts.
home.
So that's actually so when I looked up the remote work life, right? I found out that it was invented in 1970s. Somebody pitched the idea, but obviously it didn't become big until 2020, right? 2020 is where I think it's when I looked up it was 43% of the United States workforce went remote. All right, and then like over like 20% lost their job, but whatever. Yeah, so remote work became really big in 2020. And I heard you say something about how I know this wasn't really a question, but I kind of want to harp on this lady. How has that shifted? I know you had a husband, you had a kid, so you for you specifically, Cam, not really much for you because you said you kind of just walked into remote, like you've been remote the whole time. But for you, lady, how was that shift? Like, how was that shift going from in a building, spending money yourself, doing you like that was your free time, like the commute was your free time. Let's be real, like that was your free time,
Yeah.
and now it's just more like, how do you deal with? I don't want to see my husband and kid today, but you can't because you got to work inside the building, like
Yeah.
inside. So how do you deal with that?
That's a real thing of making time for yourself because if you're always available and always giving yourself, there's nothing really left for you.
Mhm.
Even to be able to still take care of them how you want. So and my husband was is big on that too, like, he'll just leave out and go for a 15-minute walk. For me, I may go in the back and on our back lawn, call a girlfriend or text or whatever, just taking some time outside of the environment I've been in for hours on
Mhm.
end. And yeah, like, even now, me and my husband probably don't talk during lunch or, like, when I'm trying to vent, or it's not always like, "Hey, babe, what you doing?" every hour. That's not real.
That's
He has
good.
to do work, I have to do work, and we need time to miss each
What you
other.
doing?
Yeah, get out of my face. I'm working.
Yeah. I am such a person that's the opposite of that, is like, "Do you need anything? Do you want a sandwich?
But
Do you
that
need water?"
that
Go
falls
ahead.
into that relationship you have with that person. If that's
Mhm.
okay and that's your world, then that's okay. Um,
Yeah.
we are 2 very introvert people, and we come out to say a joke or 2 and then go back, and then we reconnect at night and whatever, but
I
that's
love
how
that.
yeah, that's how us working from because he also was not a work from home person. COVID made him that, and it was an adjustment for both of us. So, yeah, making time for just you is a real thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's crazy. I sat here and said that that wasn't a question on the list, but when now I'm looking at the questions, that what actually was the next question. I just reworded it differently. Look at me staying on point, not even knowing I'm on point. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, so I guess Cam, yeah, I'm let you answer this. You know, do you think remote work has blurred the lines between personal life and work life too much? Like, do you
Yeah, for
has blurred that
sure.
line?
For sure. When I was living with my grandmother, oh my god. So it was we were in a two-bedroom apartment. The apartment is supposed to be, or was supposed to be, for her and her boyfriend because they sleep separately. That's what they do. And
Hey,
I was
she,
like, "All
she
right."
she need him
But
when she need him, and that's it. Get out.
right. Exactly,
That's a
exactly. She was
real
like, "Get out my
thing.
face." So I was like, "All right, that's how it works, that's how it works." But I was there, and so they like, I don't want to sleep with anyone else but my partner. I'm weird about sharing a bed. So even with my grandmother, I know that's blood and things of that sort, but, like, I would rather sleep on the floor. So I told her, and she was like, "You're not sleeping on the floor." And I was like, you can't stop me. Like,
You
if you
can't
want your bed, that's
make me.
fine. But like, you can't physically pick me up and put me in this bed. So like, I'm fine here. Then it became a thing where she like was in his room and they were sharing a bed and then I was in her room, but I kept everything the same. It wasn't like I like moved in necessarily into her space outside of the the desk that I ended up with for work and like, that's basically it. I kept the space clean,
Mhm.
things of that sort. But there were times where she would come in, I'm on a phone call because I was taking phone calls at the time, or um I remember this one time I was in a meeting with my supervisor and she came in and I was like, "Oh god, I'm just glad she was clothed this time." Like she
This
had
hoe I
clothes
got.
on because please, I cannot. I cannot. And so,
Oh man,
yeah, definitely blurs the lines. My partner recently came in while I was on the phone with my supervisor in my office and he was like, "Oh, sorry." And I was like, "You're fine. Did you need something?" It's fine. So sometimes, yeah, because again, your partner isn't working at the same location as you, there's usually a separation somewhat. So yeah, like yeah, it can get blurred. I know there have been times where he's been working and I was delivering food to his door. And I was like, "I'm not gonna put this on the ground. Do you need anything?" He's like, "I'm on the." So yeah, it can get blurred, but like I try not to cross that because it can be awkward for like everybody, including your like the people that you work with. Cause then it's like, oh, well, now I know what Cam's partner looks like or something like that.
Uh,
Cause like otherwise you're just not gonna know that. Like I'm not,
right, right.
yeah. So yeah, it can get blurred, but like that's usually where it gets crossed.
Okay. All right. So, how has isolation or reduced social contact affected your motivation or creativity? I think I'm gonna go first, real quick, just because y'all both got partners. Y'all got somebody there. So y'all ain't really by yourself. No. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. We used to play, but no. Me personally, it really is just like, bro, I'm just sitting here just twiddling my thumbs. Just I don't got nothing to do. I don't got no story to text. I just don't got nothing. I'm just like, you got a whole family, Stew. I mean, cat, they're working now. They're both working. Shout out to them working. So when I'm at work during the week, the house is empty. It's just empty, it's quiet, which is great. But in those moments where I want to, cause I'm a social person. In those moments where I want to, like you say, you need some water, you want something, just go bug somebody just because you're bored. I can't do that. And so you're just like, because I'm sitting here and answer calls all damn day, like, and it does to me. It can play a little bit of mental, not a lot. I've kind of got used to it, but at first I was just like, damn, this is like when I was a bartender, I used to always have a customer to talk to, or I have a coworker, or have, whatever. But now it's just like, if I don't have a call, I'm just like, just if I watch anime or something for the third time, like I don't. It's just so to me, it definitely does has its moments where it can be really lonely and boring. So, but lady, for you, I mean, how do you, how has isolation played a part in your remote work?
I think that isolation can be a very big part of working from home, but it's not a factor for me as I really am an introvert. And a little backstory is right before COVID hit, I was probably let go of my job 3 months before it happened. So I was on unemployment. Because of the pandemic, I was allowed to be on unemployment for 2 years, which that was my first time ever to be on it. And I'm thinking I got 6 months and then I got a panic. The pandemic was a extra entity that allowed me to be on it for 2 years. During that 2 years, I wasn't leaving my house because I was scared of whatever. I was doing the essential going out. But that time, I was the happiest I ever been. And everyone around me said, like, "We haven't seen you like this in a long time." I wasn't
Mhm.
working, and it was the best time of my life. So then moving into, okay, I'm like, now I need to go find a job. I get this work from home job, and it is the same. I am the happiest. Do still have outlets for communication. It's not just like I can live like a hermit, but I can for a long time. But you have to make space like everything else for that communication. Whatever you're needing or lacking, you have to go outside your house or look for it online. It's just making space for it. But it has not been lonely for me.
That's good. That is good. I'm glad it hasn't, because like I said, I'd just be if I didn't have Twitch and I ain't had
Yeah.
Vibe Stream, man.
Yeah.
What about for you, Kim? Has it been
I
lonely for
think
you, not lonely, or
I think it can be the same for me. Yeah, like I said, he works too. So, when he's not here and if I'm being honest, I will default to Discord. Oh, default to Discord and, like, just sit there and, like, chat with some people in the Discord or, like, chat with some of my coworkers. I've definitely developed relationships with them, my coworkers, to where I can, like, talk to them over the phone. At times, if it intervenes with my work, then I'll usually get off the phone. But, like, outside of that, like, I'm not social.
right?
So, like, if I wanted to, like, let's say, like, my brow lady is awesome, and I'll go and get my brows done, and I'll chat with her, and, like, I'll be good. Like, I don't need a lot of,
Mm,
like, social interaction or, like, stimulation. I go to see her, like, every 3 weeks. Like, like, I don't like, yeah, in person, like, I'm totally fine. Now when it comes to my partner, that's different. I'm a lovey person, I'm an
right.
affectionate person. But, like, when it comes to, like, friends and things of that sort,
I feel
I'm
I
chilling. Like, just talking on the
100%
phone is fine.
is motto for the rest of 2025. No, I definitely, and this is a good motto. It's a good motto here. I'm not social. Like it, I 100% agree with this. 100%. Like it's not that I don't want to be in your face, but at the same time, I don't want you to not be in my face. I feel you.
Mhm.
And that time of COVID speaks to the numbers jumping for social media and Twitch, and I mean, I came to Twitch during COVID,
Did too, yeah.
and that was me looking for a form of communication, and I
Okay.
found a lot more than I expected, and that was enough for me, but it was me having to search for it. I didn't know anything about Twitch,
Nothing,
so
man.
yeah.
Let's talk about that. Shout out to Twitch, man. We on a platform. We're also on
Heck yeah.
YouTube right now. Shout out to Twitch, to the Twitch family and community that we have all created and made. I've met all of y'all through Twitch. Um, Twitch is, man, it's just awesome. I just love Twitch. God damn. Thank you for the raid, Chrissy. Let's
That'd be
go.
great.
You raid.
But yeah, so Twitch is just awesome. Awesome community where you can have more people like that, your friends coming over. I just love it because definitely working from home. If I didn't have a Twitch stream to pull up, man, and to have to talk and interact, and it's just man. Now
It's
I want
been
to
a
hold my account.
lifesaver for some people, I'm sure.
It
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
definitely is.
It
And
was a lifesaver for me this year, if I'm being honest. So moving from Georgia to Arizona was hard because, like, I don't have any family here. All of my family is in Chicago or Georgia. Like, they don't live here. So, like, yeah, very, very much isolating. And then my partner and I, like, trying to figure things out, like, with ourselves because we're two individuals trying to make things work and making big boy moves at 26. So, like, I was like, "What am I gonna do? Who am I gonna talk to?" My best friend is also in Georgia. So, like, all the things, but, you know, therapy and Twitch, I'm telling you guys, helped out a lot.
therapy and Twitch, man. For me, Twitch is my therapy, but we're gonna talk about that at a different time, a different day. Because
Period.
what I need a therapist for? I got vibes and lady. I'm good. So you actually brought up something, Cam, where you talk about having a connection with your coworkers, right? So that's something I've always wondered, and I'm glad that shout out Chat GPT for giving me these questions. How do you maintain, or how do you guys maintain a sense of team, a sense of connection to your coworkers when you don't see them? Ladies, you said you work in the building, and so yeah, you may not talk to them all the time, but you had that, hey lady, how was the drive in, or the water cooler talks, things like that,
Yeah.
right? How do you get that online?
I can answer. Well, I work with a small team. It's only 4 of us, and we all live in different states. Our form of communication is we message each other individually and, like, joke about the day. Because I 'Cause I'm gonna talk in jokes, and if you can't get with it, I'm probably just not gonna talk to you. So they got with it, and that's how we communicate. Our boss is not he's a jokey person, but it's really, like, corporate, "Ha, ha, ha." Like, so we just go to the side.
The white collar.
Yeah, it's like, please. And that's how we create that bond, just individual gripes or big ups, or I just do it one-on-one.
No,
Nice.
that's good. That's good. I'm glad you have that. I'm gonna be honest because I had a coworker reach out to me when I first got to the team after training. Her name is Ashiata. I hope she's watching the stream. I always invite her. But she's so nice. She's so nice and friendly, and she's actually a sweet person. But at the same time, she was just like, "Hey, we should exchange numbers." And this whole time, I'm just like, "Why? What do I need your number for? Like, what do we like?" And it's just like, yeah. So she was super sweet, and I still have her number. I'll probably text her today because I feel like it's kind of wrong that I don't text her. She texts me at least 2, 3 times a week. Hey, how you doing? How's the sales? And I'm like, what? I need, I need to stop being mean. I need to stop being mean because, like, I don't know. For me personally, it makes it easier for me to just lock in because I don't want to. I see anything as I can lose a job at any time. I'm not gonna get attached to somebody and then
Hmm,
I lose his job and I can't. I don't know.
interesting.
I never like intermingling with something that I feel is temporary, right? And a job can be temporary. So so if I attach something to the temporary, I don't want to meet somebody in a temporary state.
But you know you can
That's
make the relationship permanent,
You
even if
can.
the
right.
job is temporary.
You
Yeah.
can. You can. You can. Yeah.
Yeah,
You definitely
it
can.
almost seems like you're attaching them to this job as if they're the job, but they're not.
They're not. They're not a job at all. Which is why I
Mhm.
said I'm gonna text her on this podcast. That's not right. That's not
Okay.
right. I definitely should say. Now I'm talking out loud. I'm like, I need to text her. Just say what's up. It's not right that she's
Sometimes
trying
you
to do
gotta
stuff, and I'm just like,
But
you know,
also, I mean, we're encouraging that type of communication, but also, Stu, if you're just not interested, you're not interested.
you're
Like,
right.
right.
don't force yourself in a friendship or relationship that you don't see value in. So,
Mhm.
but still be open to, you might find somebody at work.
Let me
Not, I
find
mean,
out.
find somebody at work to talk to, not like a
Hey, you.
girlfriend, Stu. Back up.
Look back.
Let me move to Texas.
Yeah.
That's because that's where because almost my entire workforce lives in Texas. So she live in Texas. So I'm just like, I might just move to Texas. But
I mean,
yeah,
you get a big tax break
Talk
too because
about
they
it.
don't take state taxes, I think, on your earnings. So
I saw that and I was just like, Texas got a lot of good stuff. Hey Jen, yeah, Texas got a lot of stuff. But I was just like, I don't know that Republican state.
I think for me though, when it comes to communication with my coworkers, if I'm being honest, y'all, I usually let people lead, like just people externally lead. If they're interested in finding out who I am, I'm open to sharing, but I don't like just throw out who I am, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
So like when people are like, "Hey Cam, where are you from?" I'll tell you. I'm not one to like hide that information, but like if you're not interested, I'm not wasting your time with talking about me all day. Like that's lame. Um so I have two coworkers. One is Heather, one is Megan that I got to know pretty well just through like chatting through our teams. And most of my team, similar to Stu, they live in a different state. They, however, live in Colorado. And they were like, Cam, you should come visit and we'll do some things. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And so last year I went to Colorado for the first time and I
Wow.
visited them. And my friend Heather had like a spare room. And so I stayed there and like we went to like a water park. It was interesting. Colorado's nice. It's not for me, but I met my coworkers.
Let me
So,
that's
it's like
politically
Right.
correctness.
that's sort of what I mean when I say I'm not social. Like, if you wanna talk and, you get to know me and you're like, "Maybe we should hang out," I'll do that, like, I'm down for that as long as finances allow. But outside of that, we just chat through Teams.
I definitely understand that. That makes me think. I'm going to DreamCon next year. And
W
by
Dream
going, I've already
Con.
bought a ticket. I've literally already bought a ticket.
Nice.
So I'm proud of myself for actually buying that ticket. That was
Let's go.
$160. I want to spend, but no. So I'm going to DreamCon, and since my job is based in Texas anyway, I'm gonna ask my boss, can I like, y'all got like some job or apartments or something? I'm gonna figure it out because if I could work while being at DreamCon or anyway,
No,
that's
you
neither.
cannot work on the phone while you're at
No,
DreamCon.
no,
Enjoy
not like at the phone, but I
DreamCon.
mean like I'm talking about can I stay afterwards? Like instead of staying like after DreamCon, because I don't know, I ain't trying to do all that extra movement if I don't have to. So what do you guys think some boundaries are that you've had to set or struggle to set while working from home? I know we've already talked about laying down and how easy it is to lay down while working. I think we've all admitted that. That's just so. But what are some other boundaries that you guys have had to set for yourself while working from home? Cam, you can go first.
Maybe lock my door. I don't have many. Just, get up, brush my teeth, wash my face. Honestly, I grab food whenever I need it at this point. I like to tell the people in the house when I'm gonna be busy and like when to not come in. There's a lot of freedom working from home. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of freedom. So I mean, but I mean, okay, like for instance, you said you stay with your man and stuff like that. So is there any boundaries for him? I mean, I know ladies spoke of like, y'all don't bother each other when you're working. Like, is there any
Mhm.
boundaries there? Like,
That's basically it. But
yeah,
like that's not as difficult. It's like if you think about it in the mindset of I'm not talking to this person anyway if I was in the office.
Mhm.
So like it's one of those things like I see them at this point, they're like my non-coworker,
Right.
like they're here doing their job. I'm here doing my job. We'll talk in between if we cross paths, but outside of that, like, that's it.
That's good. See, I personally don't have to think about this because, like I said, I'm bored and alone in this house by myself, so I don't have to think about that. So I'm glad I'm learning this
You
for if I ever do have these struggles. Well, not struggles. I do
you
have
can
these.
message me throughout your day if you because I don't want
Here's
you
the
to feel
thing. I
alone.
don't. I don't want to be bothering nobody, bro. To
Why
me
didn't
personally,
I
I
just
hate the
say
feeling of coming
didn't I
into a
just say you could
Discord.
message me? Why
I
you
know.
thinking that you bothering somebody?
I'm just telling you how I feel normally, right? Like, okay, I don't feel this way in Vibes Discord because she's made it abundantly clear that I can do that. But anybody else's Discord, I come in
What
there
am
and I
I
sit
doing?
there for a little bit and I just read the room and I'm just like, we good? Okay. Before I say anything, because like I'm not trying to be that. Nobody likes that awkward ass nigga that just try to force their way in and shit, And I don't want to be that guy.
I like awkward.
That's good. It's not seen, but thanks for the invitation. Now that I have the invitation, I
You're
know that.
welcome. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna do that shit without an invitation because that I ain't gonna be that nigga.
Okay, fair. Fair. Fair.
Let somebody else be that guy, not me. Uh, like, but ladies, so for you, what are some boundaries that you set since working from home?
Some boundaries. Well, I mean, I tell my son, like, knock on the don't just come in my office, like,
Yeah,
'cause
kids don't
his
know
thing
boundaries.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're just at a computer, I can come and talk as soon as I open that door and see your eyes, like, no. Um, but also, I mean, there is so much freedom. I was gonna say it's not really a boundary, but I was gonna say, like, still just getting up and doing your regular I'm doing everything I would do if I was going into the office except for putting on work clothes. Because you're just in your house, you can take it like it's another Saturday and just wake up and get on the computer. And then, like, an hour later, like, "Oh, let me brush my teeth." Like, I don't wanna do that, and so just the beginning of my day started as if I was going to leave out. I've had to put boundaries on myself in regard to how much I'm in on Twitch, especially if work picks up because it's work isn't always busy, but it isn't always slow. And so I have to put boundaries on my communicating and joking and all that. And that's tough. But other than that, I don't know of anything. How about you, Stu? Do you have any
Yeah.
boundaries you needed to create for yourself? Yeah.
100%. Because I'm still recently new to the whole remote work stuff. I think I started around the same time you did, lady, with COVID and stuff like that, when most people started to migrate. I've lost. This is my fourth remote job.
Okay.
The one I worked at before this. So this is my fourth one. The first two I got fired within 2 months. Why? Because I was laying down. I wasn't because in my head I wasn't in the right remote work mindset. Like,
Uh-huh.
okay, this is like because here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand that if you've never worked remote, right? Yes, you have this freedom that we're talking about. You do have remote work, but it's still a job. At the end of the day, it's still a job. You still have to clock in on time. You still have to be where they want you to be. You still have to do what they want you to do. And so that lack of somebody stand over your shoulder,
Yeah.
that lack of having somebody be there it's a little bit too much freedom. So freedom was a little bit too much for me at the time, right? And it's the kind of self discipline, Coco. Yeah, it's the same thing when going to college, right? Let's talk about it. How many times people go to college and they not under their parents' roof no more,
Uh-huh.
and they end up becoming whatever because of that lack of freedom, or not lack of because of that freedom and that lack of discipline. So that's what I had to learn, right? I had to rein myself in. But now that I've reined myself in, I think my biggest discipline now is now that I've gotten used to working, waking up on time, clocking in, the schedule of how I need to do it. Now I need to incorporate working out, you know, making sure my space is clean, making sure I do this every normal day, every normal stuff, everyday stuff while working, because it can be done. Everything can be done with the schedule, timing, stuff like that. But I don't be wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Then that just comes that's obviously beyond just work. I've had that problem for a long time. It definitely comes with my size, but that's something I'm trying to break out of because habits die hard, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm grateful for this job because I need the money and it's teaching me self discipline,
Uh-huh.
which goes in this whole self love arc that I'm on. So it definitely is good to have. So remote work is not always easy because it forces you to if you clock in late for work driving to work, you can say, "Oh, there's traffic." When you work from home, you clock in late for work. What excuse you got? Nigga, all you gotta
Honestly,
do
I
is
tell
sit
my
up.
supervisor when I sleep in, I'll be like, "Look, can I just stay an extra 30 minutes? Cause
Yeah.
I do the
I
same
was
thing. I'm
tired."
like, I'm just gonna clock in, like, I'm just gonna stay late because there's no excuse for being late to work. Like, I literally just log in. That's it. How are you late that way? There's no way to be late. So there's a lot less leeway when it comes to excuses when you work from home too. This is a good one. This is a good one. And because I've talked about this before, and I think this was my one of my big problems when I first started working remote was burning out. Okay. This is like you're always home. Like I said, I'm a social person. I used to be a bartender. I worked at Jimmy John's for a very, very long time as a manager. And so I got used to customer interaction and seeing that. So the lack of people that the lack of variety of people, I should say, and then being stuck at home seeing the same two motherfuckers. I hope they hear me. No, I'm just kidding. The same two people day after day, all day, then dealing with customers on top of that had me burn out real quick, and I caught attitude. So how do you guys keep from actually burning out, or not just or being tired or unmotivated or whatever? What keeps you guys motivated, working hard, and not burning out at your remote jobs? Cam, you go first.
The time that I experienced burnout wasn't until I moved and I had the household to take care of, streaming to do, and work. Because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of tasks. Outside of that, though, when it comes to burnout for work, like my issue was not that. Like when it was just me, like having to take care of work, um, and yeah, just work was the main focus. That wasn't a big deal for me necessarily. Like I could definitely see that for when I was on phone calls, but like in the position that I'm in now, like I don't usually get burnout. There was a thing with my supervisors, I think the previous one and the current one that I have now, they were like, "Cam, you haven't taken any time off for the year. Are you okay?" And it was because I just managed it well. But when it became taking care of like, the household plus the streaming stuff, like I can understand the like burnout happening there. I don't I think it's when I have like a lot of different things that I have to do at once that I can experience burnout, but not when I'm doing the same thing over like I think Dojo said it best that I'm like social adjacent because like it's almost like I can flip that switch between being like antisocial and social.
Right.
Like because like I don't necessarily need to go out. Like I'm totally fine with going to a grocery store and that be enough for me.
I
Mm.
Like
need to start doing that too.
I don't need I don't need a lot because like if I'm being honest, y'all, being around people, I it can be very particular, and just being at the grocery store is enough for me. But like when I'm hanging out with other people, like I have to deal with other things that I don't think a lot of people like. If you know me and you guys have seen my streams, I will talk about people's booty stank.
Girl.
If they don't smell good, I don't wanna be in your area. Like, I'm fine with just going to the grocery store because there's at least one person, maybe at least 5 that you
Not
see,
five. That's
and they walk away airing something else. And I'm just, I'm good. I'm fine.
not
So,
five.
like,
Hey,
I
you in a
don't
stanky neighborhood. If it's five people at the grocery store that can't wash their ass. Look, like I'm a big dude, and so it's a lot
oh my
harder for me to
god.
wash sometimes. But I still make sure that if I'm going somewhere, I'm because that's no.
Um And then, yeah, we just said, the extent of the social battery is Twitch for them, and like that, I could see that, like, like I don't need much, like, talking on the phone is cool. I'll FaceTime with my sisters, that's fine, but, like, I don't know, I like my bubble of cleanliness cam energy, like, yeah.
And that's something for me personally. I've had to, like I said, I'm on my arc right now of loving myself enough. I think why I took. God damn, I'm turning my light on. I just saw how dark that got when I went full cam. That's insane. I need a ring light. Bro, because I saw it shift, and when it was full cam for you, the screen was so bright and stuff. And when I went full cam, it was. I'm about to put you back full cam because that's
Okay,
insane.
there you go. It fixes the problem.
See, like, now my
It's
screen all
her
bright.
background is lighting you up.
Mine was light, but then it got dark in my background. I have the blinds open, but it's just crazy. That was funny.
God.
But yeah, like I've had to learn to love myself a lot, and I noticed that I tried to fill my lack of love with just people, and that was never good. So now that I'm the combination of remote work and me choosing to cut certain people off, I'm in a
Yeah.
very, very, very phone dry. Now one text message has come in. I guarantee y'all one of y'all got a text message in the last hour and the hour being here.
Don't get me wrong, Stu. Like, I can relate to that too, because there were definitely like yesterday, my partner went out and I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because like I wanted to like just chill. Instead, I cleaned the house.
That's good. And
Like,
that's what you gotta have something to do. Gotta have something to do.
so like I think to that point, you gotta have something to do. Like pull up a game. Play a game or something.
Mhm.
Find a Discord that somebody's in and they're just chilling in a voice chat. Like, like that's what I do.
And that's what I've been trying to do is find more active discords during my work shift throughout the day. Here's the thing: not many Discord after Vibes gets off stream, and that Discord dies. And I'm like,
Mm,
okay. And then I try to find others, and I'm just like, nobody's there. Most of my friends are like gamers and stuff, and they don't get on until they get on. And
right.
then the other ones that I may be a part of, maybe a little bit of some freaky side, but I may not be in a freaky mood to talk to them because that's
Fair.
those discords. That's all they think about is just. And I'm not trying to, despite what y'all may see on Twitch, I'm not horny 24/7. It's just
For
so
you,
I,
me too.
Hey, I'm real on my podcast. I'm real. So yes, I'm part of some discords that
It's
so
a little spicy.
it's a little spicy. So I can't, even though one of them, that one's always popping. There's always people in the voice chat. I can't go in there and then take a call from my job while they talk about in my ear. So I can't. That's weird. So it's weird. I'm figuring it out. Is my point here. So I say all this to say, remote work and being independent in remote work is kind of hard for me personally. But lady, for you, has remote work made you more independent or more disconnected? What do you think?
That's a hard one. I don't wanna say all these categories don't have anything to do with me but me being an introvert is a very big thing. I'm not affected by a lot of the things that other people would be. I've been independent for a very long time. I've never really liked a boss. So working from home was just ideal for me. In regard to has it isolated me more? No. I still connect to my IRL friends who also have their own lives going on. So we communicate when we communicate, and it's always on time.
Yeah.
But I also feel a connection with them that when I'm feeling low or down, they're always a call. I can FaceTime them anytime of night and day, and they would answer. So they allow me to still have deep communication or relationship with someone, even if they're not directly here. And then also, I have my husband. So yeah. I wish I could add more to that, but I've always been independent and I've kinda always been a loner, which is crazy that I'm married.
I need some light around here. Y'all see I had some light on my face? I had to get some light around here.
So if you don't back that up,
No, 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 further. No, that is, yeah. No, for sure. Cam, what about you? Do you feel like you're more independent because of remote work or more disconnected because of it?
I don't know GPT did their thing on this question because it's like, or maybe it's just me.
Yeah, someone calls my
I
light.
am a dependent person by nature, if I'm being honest. So independent, maybe. Like I don't have to go many places, so maybe.
Independent-ish.
Then disconnected, I would probably say sort of, but again, I don't need a lot of connection, if that makes sense. Like
Okay.
there are days where it's just me and my hot cup of oolong tea and a slice of cake and Stardew, and I'm fine. Like I don't need anything. I don't want anything. But there are other days where like I kind of just want to chat to some people that are around. But usually it's like I'm always doing something, if that makes sense. Like it's not, yeah. So, I'm actually working with my therapist to be less dependent on people. But, like, it's one of those things where I guess I'm aware of that, and so I'm more working on being more independent for myself rather than because it's been a remote work side effect,
Right.
if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It does. It does. I feel you on the whole dependency thing. Like I said before, that was something I struggle with a lot too. Cause I feel like I always need to be talking to somebody, be texting somebody, or as my mom would say, I always need to be in somebody's face. Why are you always in somebody's face? Like I don't know. I just that's just how it was. I don't know. But now I'm getting out of people's face, and I find this very nice. Because I'm looking for something. So, but yeah,
How do
Internally?
you go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna
Go ahead, lady.
ask Stu, how do you know when you're burnt out? Like,
Mm,
how do you know when it's coming? Because that question for me, I think, comes from a place of you knowing how you are, like what's
Mhm.
ticking you. Because
yeah.
there's always red flags before you just get there. So
Right.
how do you know when you're about to be burnt out? What are you feeling like?
Me personally, I know I'm gonna be burnt out when I start to get angry over the smallest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's me, and I've talked about this last podcast. I'm a very angry person, and I have a lid on it most of the time. I'm not gonna lie, I snapped at my mama the other day, and I was like, you know what? I had to tell her, I was like, Mom, I'm sorry, that don't got nothing to do with you. I had some stuff I'm working through, and so that's a bad thing I do a lot. So if I'm ever talking to somebody and I just snap for no reason, it don't got nothing to do with you. You might have been the catalyst, but it don't got nothing to do with you. And so that's something so whenever I'm just feeling overwhelmed, that's another reason why I have a really bad habit of pushing away from people when I'm going through stuff because I don't want to snap on people. And so I have that big thing. It was like, you know what? Let me remove myself because I don't want to do some stuff that makes me, so whenever I feel super overwhelmed, I take stuff off the plate or I take myself away from the plate. Period. So
What about you,
that's
my
for me.
lady?
When I know I'm getting burnt out, it's the
Yeah.
same as Stu. I'll get angry at little things like, um, I think right now I'm just coming off a burnout from work, and all it took was, like, for a system to not work, and I messaged my boss like, "I'm gone," and he ain't say nothing else, and that's how I knew that
Yeah.
I need to take some time off, and then I just do, um, because I feel like I have a lot of space for a lot of things to go wrong. Like, that's just the
Mhm.
job. You don't really come into work thinking everything is always 100% working,
Right.
especially with me being in the tech field, so that's expected, and
Mm.
when I'm saying no to the expected, then I need to check myself, and so, yeah, I go away, go do something that I like, and then I come back, but I do take time off work.
I think I'm learning something about myself through your guys' stories too,
Yeah.
because like, I've definitely experienced that. Usually mine is like, I'm shutting down.
Mhm.
Like, I don't wanna do anything. I don't wanna be at my
Just do
desk.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't wanna be in bed. I
Yeah.
don't wanna be out. So I'm just standing here like, "What do I wanna do?" Fair.
No, that for me it's just I don't know. You know what's crazy? I sit here and I talk about how I always want to be in people's face. But at the same time, when I get overwhelmed, the last thing I want to see on planet Earth is another human. Like I don't know. That's just that's even though like I'm so dependent on another human being, I want to be with somebody, whether it's a girlfriend, whatever, having that human interaction. But if I'm mad or upset, don't. Why are you breathing? Go away. Go away. Go
Mhm.
over there. Get out the house.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. That's just being like, and I may not be that way for long. Just give me, lady said, 15 minutes. She quick.
Yeah.
She quick as shit. I need at least an hour. I need at least an hour, which is why I'm so glad I got my hour lunch break now. I made a joke to
Nice.
Jay about my hour lunch break, and I was like, I love it. And he said, why you love it? I was like, because I no longer work an 8 hour shift. And he's like, what you mean? I said, I work 2 4 hour shifts, 4 hours, lunch, 4 hours. And when you put it that way, it's a lot easier to manage.
No. Okay.
Two
Well,
4 hour shifts.
perspective is everything
It
here.
definitely is.
2 4 hour shifts a day, and it makes it go so. Which is why I hate when they change my shift where like I work 3 hours and then I work five. No, I'm taking my break at 4 hours. Don't do that. Don't do that. So
Mm.
Can you hack my ISP and up my speeds, please?
That's why you
Me
don't tell
too.
nobody what you do.
Now you want me to do
Because I need that. But I think this is the last question. This is the last question here. So, if you guys could design the perfect work setup or work policy, what would it look like for you? Cam, you go first. You're the star.
That's kinda tough. That's a good question.
if I'm being honest,
Or I guess let's reword it because I don't like how ChatGPT worded that. If you were a manager at a job and you're hiring
mhm,
people who are just now coming into the workforce for the first time working remotely, what would
uh-huh.
you tell them to make them or to so that way they have the best success for remote work for the first time? What would they need to do? How would they need to have
So,
themselves set
like,
up?
giving, like, new hires advice,
Yes.
invest in a good chair, make sure that you're standing when you need to stand, make sure you do your morning routine for a sense of normalcy, and make sure you're eating properly. Like, you need to keep your energy up, at the very least. Everything else is, like, whatever you wanna do. Like, take breaks when you need to, make sure you're taking your time off and you're scheduling that when you need to. Like, mental health is important too. Like, do what's good for you. Like, I'm one of those I'm one of those people, and I've talked about it with Bree, shout out to Bree. Very, like, very often where, like, what is it called? Whatever it is in this country where we are working almost, like, 80% of our lives. Like, I don't agree with. And so if like, I know you're here to do your job, but also take care of yourself. That's it.
I'm gonna step on that real quick because that's just a lesson I learned working at Jimmy John's, right? Cat said slavery. Yes, slavery. Paid slavery. Um,
Mm.
because that's literally what it is. When I worked at Jimmy John's, there was towards the end there, I was working 70, 80 hour weeks for months straight. Now, mind you, my mom wasn't working, so I had to pick up the slack and had to do that. But there was a time period there in 2018 where for 5, 6 months straight, I worked 70 hours a week every week. Did not have a day off for 5 months. I was working every single day, open and close at somebody's store, right? And I had become that good slave, quote unquote, right? They could always count on me. I was always dependable. I didn't mess up that much. And so I was very company friendly, right? And so it got to the point to where, well, guess what? The body can't handle that. I just can't. And so I literally ended up in the hospital. I shut the store down and then I ended up throwing up and then passing out after I
Oh,
threw up,
no.
after I clocked out.
I'm so
Lucky my mom was
sorry.
already there. She's in the hospital, was right across the street. So I was good. So they took me to the hospital. But the doctor literally told me, yeah, you can't work for another week. You just need your body need to just, you know. And this is when I was more fit than I am now, right? I was 150, almost, yeah, about 150 pounds lighter and just moved a lot more. But even then, I really stopped taking a lot of care to what businesses start to say because I got to the point where the job. I told my job, "Oh, this is what the doctor said. Oh, well, we need the doctors to know, otherwise you're getting fired." I'm
Fuck
like,
that
"Hold on."
job.
I'm
Mhm.
like, "Hold
That is my
on."
response to that.
Who's the person you could call, "Hey, Stuart, we need a closer." Y'all called me by default at that point because I had become that person. I was the number one person they called every. You need a store closed, store open, Stuart. Somebody stay late, Stuart. So a store needs a sales boosted, and no other manager knows how to boost sales, Stuart. I was that person, right? So I was a person they could always call on and be. I'm going through something, and your first response was to treat me like some people who call in late every day. I didn't call in late every day. I showed up early and left late. So I took that personally. Like, you telling that to me? You think
Yeah.
I'm trying to skip work? Like what? And so yeah, I took that and then after that, that was strike one. Then strike two was when I actually got fired from Jimmy John's. I got fired because it was just a busy, busy, busy day and I had one driver. I asked for a second driver, they didn't give me a second driver. And so I called, I told the customer we're done with deliveries. My driver was 2 hours behind. All the deliveries are 2 hours late. I can't take no more orders. If you want to order, you gotta come to the store. Of course the customer complained because they wanted they shit, right? But the way I'm thinking about it is if I take this order, you're not gonna get it until 12 o'clock. I'm not gonna get home till 2 a.m. So that's why I said no. Of course, that customer complained and got the corporate, and I got fired because the customer complained. And so one thing, one mistake, and from that point on, I learned you're just a number, bro. Another cog in the wheel. You're gonna get replaced, and because of that, you have to put yourself first. Because guess what? A cog in the wheel could be replaced. A tire could be changed. A windshield wiper can be replaced. A worker can be replaced, but you as a human cannot be replaced. And so
Right.
that's when I learned that. And so, yeah, ever since then, I kind of went on my rebellious phase. Like I said, you know, if a job treated me, if a job treated me bad, I was like, man, fuck this. How about like,
Yeah. But
so
I
I did
mean,
a little
as you
bit.
should though, because like you only live once from what we know. And
Let me find out.
when it comes to like your life, that's important. Like that's the most precious thing that you have control over. So like, yeah, if I were to be yeah, I wouldn't want that on my conscience. Like, so that yeah, that would be my advice to people is just take care of yourself because like Coco said, work-life balance is so important. In America, we do a piss poor job at it. Like the economy is just crazy, or like how we are taught that we're supposed to work in order to we're taught that we're supposed to work like dogs
Uh-huh.
to make money, and we don't have to work that hard. We just gotta find the right people to get us in the right positions so that we can live a fulfilling life. Like,
That's it. And
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't want to become famous or like a bajillion dollars. They just like for me personally, I don't want to become a bajillionaire, nothing like that. I just want to be financially stable. And for me, that's just I want to be able to pay my bills, not have to worry about it. I want to be able to take a trip or two, not have to worry about it. I want to be able to do stuff and not have to plan out my entire life for that one thing. Which is, which but to me that's financially free. If I take a trip, I should have to figure out, okay, if I take this money from here, I ain't gonna be able to eat this meal, but then I gotta do
oh yeah,
this and then like I want to be able to have my meal and go on the trip. Like
hmm,
so yeah, so that's where I want to be, you know?
Um, what I would tell someone starting off, I mean, Cam really hit all the perfect points. And then Stu ended off with, "I'm just a number." And it's just like, I want to say something positive. I'm like, "You just a number."
go lady.
But it's for a serious answer, if you're starting to work from home, you definitely just need to have a routine. You'll have to do the job for at least a week to see what you're even capable of, what your habits are first off, and then you can start from there. Because I also went in thinking like I'm gonna just do the same thing from work. No, I'm in my pajamas. I got a bonnet on.
Right.
They talking about turning the camera on. I got an attitude. It's
Man,
a
what?
lot. It's a lot. Hello?
Yeah.
But I got on them so many times, I gave 'em a problem, like, they don't even ask me anymore, but, it depends on company. Most companies, they want your camera on. But create a routine, and I think, your mental, physical, that is the most important. If you don't have that, you can't make any money, you can't do a job, and if you do, you're just gonna get burnt out because you're not centered, to be who you need to be. Making time for exercise, making time to get some sun. Those are things that I had to learn, because then I was just feeling bad for no reason, and it's like my husband's like, "You haven't fucking left the house in 2 weeks." I was like, "Okay," and then I went outside. So and that did it, and then, yeah, just routine and self-care and take your days off. You don't you get they'll congratulate you for not taking your year off, and then that's it. You don't get any money, you don't get any extra days. Take the
Right.
time that you put in. You deserved it.
Mhm.
Mhm. You earned it.
You earned it. And that's it. It's really centered my answer is centered around you as a person. Like, check yourself out. What are you doing that first week? Adjust, and at the end of all that, once you figure it out, you just need to take care of yourself.
Very, very, very true. I should have did this before. I apologize, but I'm gonna do it now. There it is. Okay. So that is all true. You got to be able to take care of yourself because nobody else will. the same way the jobs don't care about you, you have to be able to take care of yourself. And that's something that myself, I'm learning now, because it's a burden to have someone else take care of you, for one. And two, people look at you different when you ask them to. So being able to take care of yourself is very crucial, because you only got one you, right? There's only one you, and you need to be able to do that. Why am I not doing okay, there it is. So thank you guys so much for coming in. This has been an awesome podcast talking about remote work, because work from home is not always what it cuts out. It's not always what it cut up to be,
Yeah.
There's some goods, there's some bads, there's a lot of goods. You can save money and stuff, but if you're not a disciplined person, working from home is very hard. You have to be very disciplined to work from home. So once again, thank y'all so much for coming in. Next week, guys, is the episode y'all all have been waiting for. I literally, when I promoted this episode, it filled up in a week. I had people ask me to move it up to this week because they didn't want to wait so much. So this is the episode everyone's been waiting for. So I know y'all have been excited. Next week, let me see if I can upload a picture of it and then show it. It's going to be a great one. We're talking about dating, and we're talking about horror stories while dating.
We messy.
Of course, gotta be. Let me see. Canva. Okay, here it is. Okay. This is the episode, man. So next week we got a really great panel. Ladies coming back next week. We'll have Jay Mello. We got the girl Nails Reloaded. If you guys don't know her, she's an awesome, funny streamer. We got the girl Bree. She was on our previous podcast. She's come back, and we also have Jet. And my boy Sean's not on the flyer because he didn't turn his picture in. So that's that. So yeah, next week's podcast is gonna be great. Matter of fact, I was thinking about doing a part 2, depending on how this one goes, because there were some people who wanted to be on it, who I was like, yo, I can't have that many people on. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it next week. The goods and bads of relationships. Is it men's fault? Is it women's fault? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be a good W podcast. So make sure y'all tune in next Sunday at 3:00. Man, it's gonna be a banger, man. She hasn't dropped the schedule this week. No. Donuts coming in. It's weekly though. Oh yeah. Yeah, so every Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Every Sunday, right here, or on the YouTube. Y'all can go subscribe to the YouTube, Big Stu Gaming. I'm live on there as well. With that being said, thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Stu, and I'm out. Peace.